Nestled in a tranquil, rural town, my current residence offers the charm of a close-knit community while still boasting modern amenities. It's a place that's managed to strike a balance between its remote surroundings and the convenience of good shopping, dining, and public spaces. The town has recently transformed, acquiring a newfound hipness, complete with burgeoning breweries and bars. Beyond this evolving urban touch, the outskirts are alive with farming, allowing me to indulge in the simple pleasure of fresh eggs and homegrown veggies. While my town was on the cusp of urbanity, the pandemic dealt a blow to its local businesses. During the initial stages, regular deliveries were a luxury largely monopolized by giants like Walmart and Amazon. Naturally, I was thrilled when local alternatives began popping up on various apps later on. However, during that time, options for essential groceries and necessities were limited, usually requiring deliveries from a Walmart located in a neighboring town. This influx of unfamiliar faces ignited a chatter among the older residents, fueling neighborhood discussions about unfamiliar cars and people. Despite the concerns of some, I embraced this new convenience as it significantly simplified my life. It was a period of comfort and ease. At that juncture, I shared my home with my tall, gangly teenage son and my then boyfriend, who stood tall at 6'3" with a broad build. The limited space meant that their presence often made me feel a bit cramped. Seeking solace and space to work on various tasks, I occasionally dispatched them on errands or visits to my boyfriend's elderly parents. On one such day, a delivery arrived at my doorstep. Recognizing the delivery person, I greeted him warmly, ensuring he received a generous tip before resuming my daily routine. However, the atmosphere took an eerie turn when the same delivery person returned an hour later. His behavior seemed off. Standing near my steps, he knocked while staying out of view from the eye hole. Yet, I could still catch a glimpse of him through a window next to the door. Focusing on my instincts, I engaged in conversation, speaking through the window's upper section, which allowed me to both maintain privacy and observe him. I cautiously questioned his purpose, to which he replied, hesitatingly explaining that he had forgotten a bag during the initial delivery. Although I confirmed that I had received all the items, expressing my gratitude, I chose not to open the door, wary of his unsettling behavior. A new set of neighbors moved into the unit across from mine, introducing a Ring camera to their setup. One day, my new neighbor contacted me, sharing that the delivery person had knocked on my door and lingered on my steps for quite some time. Being away with my son at my boyfriend's place, I was sent footage from the Ring camera. My instincts were confirmed as the man in question was indeed the same person. It was around 8 p.m., and I hadn't placed any new orders. The unease grew, prompting me to contact Walmart for assistance. Unfortunately, their response was less than helpful, promising to prevent further deliveries from him without providing any additional information for security or police matters. Feeling that this situation required attention, I considered filing a report with my building security team, but I was informed that the police would need to get involved. My gut feeling proved right as the situation escalated. Fearing to be home alone, I became cautious about ordering deliveries. My neighbor, however, ordered a delivery that surprisingly went through the same delivery person. This meant that he was on the property once again, just a few steps away from my door. What raised even more alarms was when I heard a delivery being dropped off and felt an inexplicable urge to check my peephole. There he was, standing right in front of my stairs, scrutinizing my door and windows. His presence lingered for several minutes until my neighbor retrieved her groceries, at which point I pointed out, that's the guy from the Ring camera. She, too, contacted Walmart, urging them to refrain from using that particular delivery person. Time went on, and Christmas approached. An assortment of items I had ordered from Amazon were expected to arrive simultaneously. Aware of their imminent arrival, I heard the drop-off, witnessed the delivery person walk away, and assumed I'd collect the items in a moment. I thought they'd be safe on the steps, backed by a security camera. Engrossed in the routine of plating dinner, the front door knob, which I hadn't locked, gave a subtle turn. Although the deadbolt remained latched, the knob seemed to shift. I brought this to my boyfriend's attention, only for him to dismiss it as an auditory illusion. Unperturbed by my concerns, he threw the door open to reveal nothing. Yet, upon closer inspection, there he was, crouched by the wall under the window, silently trying to turn the knob. As my son joined the scene, confusion and curiosity written on his face, the delivery person asked for me by name. He must have gleaned my name from previous orders, as he used the name I had on my account, which wasn't the name commonly known to everyone. My boyfriend inquired about his purpose, to which the man reached down, retrieved the Amazon box, and simply said, "Delivery," before leaving. The scenario was puzzling at best. I explained to my boyfriend that those boxes were already delivered, causing him to realize the gravity of the situation. We promptly took the footage to the police while I attempted to communicate with Walmart. The police's attempts to involve Walmart resulted in frustration as they encountered customer service agents lacking the tools to address the situation. The police advised me to contact them immediately if the individual returned. Fears mounting, I was apprehensive, despite his newfound awareness that I wasn't home alone. There was a nagging worry that his actions might escalate further, leaving me to ponder the motives of someone with such unsettling behavior. Each possible scenario played out in my mind, leaving me on edge. At 11 p.m., the sprinkler system kicked in, effectively covering up the sounds outside as it moved across the property. The gravel-laden path and the splashes of water contributed to a symphony of noise. Amidst this orchestrated cacophony, I was startled by a peculiar shuffling sound when the system shifted to the next area. Considering the frequent presence of cats outside, I initially wasn't too alarmed. However, my sense of safety was shattered the next morning. As I prepared to leave for work, I noticed that both window screens had been removed and placed beneath the windows. Handprints were smeared across the glass, and although footprints were absent, deep, muddy imprints indicated a presence. I lodged another report, hoping for a more supportive response, only to be instructed to install a camera and remain vigilant. As for the final twist in this unsettling tale, it occurred late one evening when my boyfriend arrived after a long day's work around 3 a.m. The piercing sound of an altercation disrupted the otherwise serene atmosphere. With my boyfriend pulling into the parking lot, an unknown man slid beneath my car, attempting to evade notice. Sensing danger, my boyfriend feigned nonchalance, surveilling the situation from a distance as the man fiddled around my vehicle. Swift action was taken, leading to a call to the police. Upon inspection, an AirTag was found taped beneath my car, a chilling attempt at tracking me. Subsequently, the individual was apprehended and faced various charges. Although the authorities were contacted and I provided statements and incident reports, the possibility of testifying remained uncertain. Since then, the tide of incidents has ebbed, and I've been spared further unsettling encounters. In the end, should the need arise, remember that there is support available to you through the authorities' security measures and the vigilance of those around you. Something occurred that has left me quite shaken, and even though it might not be the most riveting tale, I felt compelled to share it. I'm currently a college student sharing an apartment with 3 other girls, just like myself. It's worth mentioning that I'm a lesbian, and the way I choose to style my hair and dress often results in me appearing younger than I am. People might mistake me for a 14 or 15-year-old boy, even though I'm on the brink of turning 19 in 11 days. This incident took place when 2 of my roommates, who I'll refer to as G and S, invited me to an event happening on campus. All 3 of us were out during this encounter, which is crucial to the story. As we were making our way back to our apartment after the event, G and I observed an unsettling situation. An older, somewhat intimidating man was driving a sizable black truck, and he was moving at an unusually slow pace while giving us an intense stare. Our apartment is located on a corner, right by a well-lit area that sees a lot of foot traffic from college students. Although we were a bit unnerved, I initially brushed it off, thinking that his gaze might have been directed at my roommates. It was creepy, but I shrugged it off. However, what happened next raised more alarms. This man made a U-turn on the street and drove past us once more. This time, I noticed that he seemed to be looking down at something in his truck, possibly his phone. At this point, all 3 of us were growing increasingly uneasy. G and S began half-jokingly urging me to protect them, while I found myself contemplating whether it was prudent to have my pocket knife at the ready in case things took a sinister turn. We were almost back at our apartment when we watched the man turn left at the stoplight that was adjacent to our place. But things took a darker turn. Just as we were approaching our apartment building, the guy made yet another appearance at the stoplight and proceeded to turn back onto the street we were walking on. This was when the situation shifted from discomfort to genuine fear. It felt like he might be stalking us. The situation escalated further as he turned left onto a street that we could see from our apartment windows. The area between our building and that street served as a parking lot for the college students in the vicinity. We quickly realized that allowing this guy to see where we lived was not a wise move. Normally, we would turn into the parking lot to access our building, thereby avoiding the stoplight altogether. But this time, we decided to take the longer route, going all the way to the stoplight and circling our building, so that the creepy individual wouldn't be privy to our location, especially since he seemed poised to turn onto a different street. While making this strategic maneuver, G mentioned that she noticed another car performing the same odd U-turn that the initial guy had done. She voiced her suspicion that the first man might have an accomplice. This revelation only amplified our anxiety, propelling us into a state of alarm. We began speed-walking around our building towards our apartment, with S leaving me and G behind. Eventually, G and I broke into a run, which spurred S to follow suit. As we dashed up the stairs to our apartment, we were in full panic mode, screaming as we burst through the door to share the harrowing ordeal with our other roommate. For me, this was a new experience. I had never been stalked before. The potential target seemed like it might have been my two roommates. They're both stunning women with a distinctly feminine appearance, while my style often leads people to see me as a young boy. This probably means I attract less male attention compared to my roommates who don't dress similarly to me. Thankfully, we're all safe and sound, holed up in our apartment. As an extra precaution, I've secured the deadbolt on our door, but I have a feeling that tonight might be a sleepless one due to my heightened sense of paranoia. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unsettling world of real-life survival horror. These stories serve as a reminder that the world can be a complex and sometimes dangerous place. We hope that by sharing these experiences, you'll be more vigilant and prepared, and that you'll always prioritize your safety and well-being. If you found these stories intriguing and want to stay updated on more spine-tingling content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Also, let us know in the comments below if you've ever had a similar experience or if you have any survival tips to share. Remember, safety comes first. Stay aware, stay cautious, and stay tuned for more chilling stories right here on our Survival Horror channel. Until next time, stay safe out there.